Musings by Nikki. I'm Nikki, and I am here today to do some crafting. We're just going to do some crafting. I am working on a journal, a design team project for Tracy Fox Creative, and I am using her Peculiar Peeps and her Quirky Animals, and I am in her Sometimes kit. I've got That's What's Mostly around me right now on my desk, but I'm making up some tags and journal cards and things for the journal. It is a really large journal, and I was just going to show it to you, and I have no idea where I put my signatures. Anyway, it's a big journal, and that's mostly because I found a really old, like super old, grungy book that was totally falling apart, and the cover is in like ill repair, but it's solid, and so the spine was totally like shot. So I have the front and back cover and then some signatures in between, and I'm gonna dream up some way to bind it. Stay tuned for that. I probably won't do that on camera because, oh my gosh, it would just be a fumbling, bumbling mess of like trial and error and indecision. But we'll do this today together because this isn't quite so, and clearly this isn't so trial and error so much, and I'm warmed up a little here. I was working, and then I went, why? I said I was going to film, so here I am to film. So these are my tags that I've got already. I have her tags. Now, these are from Textured Tags, I believe. They're gorgeous. I love these. And then these, I believe, are from the Peculiar Peeps. Anyway, I've backed them all with some of my original jelly prints, and then I've sewn around the edges of all of them. So these are some good tag bases that I have got going on there. And then I've got, these are a Foxy freebie. You can get these if you are part of the Facebook group, but these are painted backgrounds, and I thought they kind of went with this whimsical, bright, colored stuff. So, and then this is like one of her most recent kits, and it's so stinking adorable. It's called Quirky Animal Tea Cards. And there's like a little family of 4. So these are the Bruins. And there's little families. So there's Tusks, the Tusk family of which elephants, the Monk family of monkeys, the Rabbit family, the Pig family, the Hare family, the Fly family. I love that one. Why is that just so funny to me? On this little bald guy's head. That's Willy Fly. Willy Fly? And then there's a Mouse family and a Sly Fox family, and then ducks and chicks. So yeah, anyway, they're super cute. So I have made some tags up using some of the stuff that I've got fussy cut out already, and I've layered up. And like I said, these are backed with my original jelly prints. And then I'm just layering. I've got my bag, my giant bag of fabric scraps here. So I'm picking through that. I have got a tray of fussy cut stuff. That's Tracy Fox fussy cut stuff. And then also spread around me is a whole bunch of other stuff that you can't see. It's right off camera. And there's another. I love this Peculiar Peeps set. I just do. So there's fabric and stuff. And then here is another tag, and these are using some of the Quirky Animals and a bunch of fabric layered up back behind it, and some cheesecloth on the edges, and yeah, just a ton of layering. So that's what I'm doing today. So I figured let's chat. Let's have story time. Let's start with one tag here. Let's make some more tags. And I'll just tell you a little story about my life lately. I've got, I wish I remember where these are all from. These are from Eclectica. There we go. That I know. These are from Eclectica. Because I also have bits and pieces of that laying around as well. So anyway, I'll tell you a little story about my life as of late. I stopped making as many videos, if you probably are used to. For a while I was making way more videos, and then I stopped a couple months ago, and that is for a good reason. I'm just layering up here, by the way. I'm just layering. It's for a good reason that I stopped making videos. Well, I mean, not really a good reason, like, as far as personally goes. But I have had some health challenges, boy. And then, I know I've got this really cool, this bag is a mess, by the way, where you're about to see how much a mess this bag is. Let's see if we can get some of this. I don't know if this isn't really, this is an embroidery floss, but it's like one of those really thick ones that's almost kind of like a little mini, I don't know, crochet, not quite. It comes wound like a, this used to not look like this. This used to look like an embroidery floss thing. Anyway, I can just, this is why it looks like this, because I just pull off a little bit of it like this and then snip it and come back to it next time. So it was maybe June. I'm trying to think. It was maybe June when I, sometimes in my shoulder, I get, I'm sure we all get, you know, things like repetitive use injuries in certain parts of your body and stuff. And I have had an ongoing issue with like shoulder bursitis in the past. Yeah, I'm going to do that somehow. I'm going to do this. And so I thought, okay, well, I'll go in, and in the past when I've had problems with my shoulder, I've gone into the orthopedics, and they have been lovely folks and put a little shot of cortisone in my arm, in my shoulder, which is a, you know, unique experience, but it's also very life-saving as far as the pain goes, because mine can get really flared up. So I thought, okay, I'll go do that because it's worked for me in the past, and so I'll go do that. Yeah. So I went, made an appointment at the pain clinic, because I was also going to talk to him about my fibro and, you know, other stuff. So, well, my fibro in my shoulder. And they said, yeah, we can do the shot of cortisone right here in the office. So we did. And it would, you know, plain old routine. Why can I not? My fingers will not work with me right now to save my life. Maybe I should make this shorter. So we did the shot of cortisone. It was totally normal, you know, routine. It didn't, nothing was out of the ordinary. It went just fine. And I went home and thought nothing of it beyond that I had had it. And so I was like, okay, now usually if you've ever had cortisone before, it takes like a few days for it to actually like kick in, kind of. I am gonna, well, I'm just gonna keep this like this because when I glue it, I'm gonna just glue it down. And when I do that, it'll like, you know, tighten it up. But maybe I want some fabric. I had this sitting out. So I go to the pain clinic, I get the injection, and I'm like, great, now I'm going to wait my couple days for it to kick in, and then I will, you know, I'll have some relief and I'll be great. I'll be doing great. So that's where my head was at. Came home, made dinner for my family, and my parents came over for dinner. Yeah, I kind of like that, but it's a bit too long. So there we go. And my parents came over and we were hanging out. And as we were just hanging out, having supper and chatting, I start realizing like, man, I am just super thirsty. Like couldn't quench my thirst no matter how much I drank. So I kept drinking, kept water. I think I refilled my water thing. Like this is here. This is like my giant water mug jar thing that I carry around with me. Sip. And I think I refilled it like 3 times during dinner, which also meant that I was going to the bathroom quite frequently. And I was like, what's going on? Like, but I didn't, my parents were over, and so we were chatting, and my husband and the girls, and so I just wasn't really thinking about it until all of a sudden I was doing it for the 3rd time. And then I started thinking, this seems a little excessive. So, maybe I'll layer this in there too somewhere. It's a little bit of blue ribbon. And then I have been sewing, so I think at some point I'll just, once I get this set up, I'll take it over to my sewing machine there and just kind of whiz through the top layer of it so the bottom layer doesn't get, sewing marks other than the ones that go around the edge. Anyway, let's see if we can find maybe one of the peculiar peeps to go on this tag. I kind of like that one. That's an option. Not the purple. I think it's too much blue. That red needs something. Oh, that's kind of cute, possibly. I love this little monkey guy. And then here's red. I kind of like the red with the red, but I also liked this one. Let's go with that one. These are quite the fussy cut, guys. Boy, were my hands feeling it after that day. Anyway, so I didn't think of it until they were going home. I'm going to glue the corner of this to this so I can kind of turn it into a base. Oops. There we go. Then I'll just like sew on this piece. It will be interesting to see how I do that. Well, you won't see it, but I've been doing this all along, sewing on weird little pieces like this. So then whatever, they go home and I'm like, that was bizarre that I'm just so thirsty. Well, that continues all night long, like literally all night long. I'm sleeping. I am waking up every 10 minutes. I don't think I slept much, actually. That's kind of a lie. I didn't sleep. I was awake most of the night and all the time. And I was going to the bathroom or refilling my water because I was so thirsty and I could not, I have another piece of this, could not sleep and I could not quench my thirst. Then morning rolls around and Ade's, my husband's getting up and I'm like, something's wrong, babe. I'm not feeling good. Oh, I apologize. My window's open. There goes logging trucks and they're still doing street construction. So, anyway, I'm like, something's not right though. So, I don't know what it was that made me think this, but I thought I will just check my blood sugars really quick. And I now have just been pre-diabetic and, I haven't had to really like be somebody that was checking my numbers all the time or anything. So, but I do have a blood glucose monitor. I hadn't probably at that point used it for, months, and I went and checked and my blood sugars were 600, you guys. If you know anything about blood sugars, you know that is no good. That is way higher than they should ever be. I'm just putting, these are some of the Tracy's, I think, rather random labels, something like that. But they make good little background filler. So I'm going to throw some of those in here too. And then I'll probably end up putting something over that, where the little knot is, or maybe not, who knows. So 600. So my blood sugar is 600. So me though, because I just felt funky. I felt funky when I woke up. So I'm telling Ade, I'm like, that's really high and I'm a little freaked out. And so I'm going to call the clinic and just, see what they say. So of course I call the clinic, and what do you think the clinic says? They're like, yeah, you need to go to the emergency room like right now. That is not okay. So I was like, yeah, I suppose. So we got dressed and got in the car, and he drove very quickly to the emergency room. I'm going to go zip this through like that very carefully. And I'll be right back. Okay. So where was I? 600. And I was like, yep, that's not okay. So my husband drove me really fast to the emergency room, which, because we live where we live, is 40 minutes away. That's the closest one, and that's a much smaller one than the big one in Bemidji. So we drive to I think that's probably good. Maybe I'll put something sticking out back there maybe. We drive to the emergency room, and they are like, yeah, you really did a number on yourself here. We need to give you some insulin, and so they get me hooked up to an IV, and I'm fine. I turn out just fine, but it was a little bit of a scary ordeal, and turns out that I did not realize just how diabetic I was. And this is a thing, that if you apparently get a cortisone shot, not all diabetics, I'm going to put that there because I like that with the butterfly, but I'm going to ink it. So apparently diabetics and cortisone shots maybe don't mix always. And I did not realize this was a thing until this happened to me. And then that's when I figured that out. So, these people outside, I thought they were talking to me through my window, which would not be unusual. So, I come home, and they wanted me to be on insulin. And I think that was mostly just, the emergency room's reaction to, like, here's what you should be doing. Because they're emergency room doctors. They're not, they don't do regular diabetic care for people. Oops, that is a little high. Will it come off? Yeah. Okay. I should have thought about where I wanted to put that. So I got home and scheduled a time to go see my regular physician, who was then like, no, you don't need to be on insulin. And anyway, then a whole series of back and forthing and doing all kinds of different, doctor visits and stuff like that. And anyway, the day I came home from the hospital, which I was only there for hours, like half a day. I wasn't in the hospital. I wasn't admitted. I was just in the emergency room while they got my sugars normalized, which happened fairly quickly, and I felt way better, very quickly, and they were lovely people, and sent me home to continue, having my sugars drop back to normal, which they did that same day. But that same day, I came home and went on keto diet, basically, like ketogenic, and because my thing was, I do not want to be on insulin. I don't want to have to do those things. And so I am going to... Do you need something, Dre?
Do you have your markers?
Do I have my markers?
The taking ones that I always use?
Oh yeah, they're back by my cutting machine, behind those boxes.
Oh.
That's my daughter, Joy. She needs my markers for her science outline, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like very convinced at that moment. I do not want to be on insulin if I can control it, because honestly, I probably have control over that. And So I went on a ketogenic diet, which is, otherwise known as keto. I don't know if I like that there. That might just be a knot with some string. I don't like that long one dangling though. That might just be like that. I kind of glued it down on the back. It should be stuck in this position fairly. Maybe I'll just put a little bit of glue right behind here so kind of help it stay in that spot. Yeah, so I started keto. Then that is a whole learning curve because I, wanted to be able to reverse the diabetes, which I have been told I can, and I have been actually. But yeah, I think that's it. And then something on top. This is kind of the trick here, is gluing these things down over everything. And my Fabri-Tac has like seized up because I haven't been doing as much like crafting and stuff because of all this stuff. Because just wait for it. There's more. So finally I get the keto under control, which is a whole learning curve, like I said. And Ade, my dear husband, decided that he would do it with me. So in solidarity, which was great because he's lost weight. We've both lost weight. Then the girls signed on for it and they've lost weight. So it's been a good thing for our household, but it's a whole learning curve, especially for me because I'm the one who does all the cooking and the grocery shopping. So then, you become the one that's got to figure out how it works, like what you can and can't eat and all that sort of stuff, because then the girls would be constantly calling me going, Mom, can we eat, whatever. Joy was like, Mom, can I have a granola bar? And I'm like, nope. So now it's training on, it's a whole different thing. I don't want to be one of these people that's like, oh, keto is the way for everybody, because it's not. Look, I like this tag. Does it need something right here though, guys? Maybe not. Maybe it's just fine like that. I don't know what I have. I have these little metal, but how would I affix that? If I put it on a pin, it's going to hang over her little face, and I don't want to do that. I've got some of these little things, but they're too big. I didn't like this one, did I? Even a wax seal would be too big there. I don't know. Maybe I like that better. What do you guys think? Yeah. This is kind of a, you know what? It's going to need a little bit of cheesecloth behind it. That'll make it even better. This is kind of a very whimsical, grungy, crazy take on stuff. So anyway, learning keto, that took a while. And honestly, if you've ever started keto from a place of like no keto, the keto flu thing they talk about is real, man. Oh my goodness. It takes a minute while your body is, you are like detoxing from sugar, because I went from one day eating tons of carbs and sugar to the next day eating none, which for one day, it's no big deal because we do that kind of stuff all the time. But for 2 days, then 3 days, like around day 3, I felt like crap. Oh, I was grouchy. I felt nauseous. I was like, this is not fun. Is this how I'm going to feel all the time? But then that cleared up. Just lots and lots of water. But anyway, that got better. And so then it was just kind of an adjustment period of trying to figure out, how do we eat? How do I shop? Meetings with doctors to figure out how to treat everything. Plus, like, I have other issues besides just fibro and now diabetes, which actually my sugars are more under control than they probably have been in my life. It needs something on top. That's a little, nope. Well, maybe it doesn't. What do you guys think? Maybe, do I have tabs over here? I do think I have tabs. Oh, let's see what's in here. Maybe music. These are some whale tail. I'm not lucky enough to be one of you all that has the whale tail tab puncher thing. So sometimes my friends have sent me punches, and so I just have a little tin collection of them, or I've ordered some online on Etsy before too. So you know, if you're one of the lucky ones that's got this, you can always send me happy mail of just some tab punches. Because look, I'm using them. Oh, and I started putting my mailing address in the description box. I had a couple people ask. So there you go. If you ever feel so inclined to want to send me something, and it doesn't have to be anything special. I really just like getting handwritten letters. That's something of the past, and I love that too. But my P.O. box is down there. That's totally off topic. So keto flu, get up, you know, I get better. Okay, I'm gonna add that to the pile. Should we do a card? These are not sewn around though. These aren't sewn around yet. So you know what? Because I'm gonna want to sew around those and back them probably, because they're just white. I'm gonna want to back them with this stuff. So, okay. Now let's look. Oh, I have these too. She gives you these that are like kind of prefabo ones as well. I could just do those up real quick. That would just be like this would just be like layering maybe some, maybe putting some fabric behind those and kind of layering them up. Maybe. They're too, I bet they're too big for these. Yeah. That's pretty. I mean, I like the way that she's got them, but I kind of feel like maybe I'll save these for tags that aren't this same. Like, I wonder if they'd work on here. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Because they're the same, like, textured background, and I feel like you kind of lose that. I guess if I layered up a bunch of stuff underneath them, it'd be fine, but that's why, like, I've got these, and I thought, well, I don't want to layer that on there, though, because that's just layering the same grungy-looking stuff. But, again, that's another grungy thing. I am really loving Tracy's like textured grungy texture phase right now. Tracy, if you're watching this, I'm loving it, and I am really enjoying all of the kits that you've been putting out. These are like the tear-offs from the edge of backing these tags. These are jelly print too, so maybe I could put some of this on there. All right, so finally, where am I? Finally, I start figuring out the keto thing, and I start feeling, you know, a little bit better day by day. And I'm like, all right, cool, we can do this. Then school starts, and which, you know, is no big deal. The girls love their new school up here. I was like, that's awesome. We're doing good. And then because you know, school is like Germ Fest 2021, which it happens every year. I used to teach at a school, and it happens there too. You know, every kid goes back to school and they share all their germs around, and everybody gets colds and stuff. Well, this year it wasn't just everybody gets colds, it was everybody gets strep throat and colds, and of course COVID. And where we've been able to remain fairly kind of closed off from too much of that up here, it hit. And so the girls and I got it. We weren't tested, so we don't know for sure, but I'm quite sure. And I'll tell you why. My husband got it, but then he went and got tested and it said he was negative. So we were like, okay. And they said, yeah, it's probably just a nasty cold, because he just wasn't breathing very good and stuff. But they said, yeah, it's probably just a nasty cold. I'm going to maybe do some of these guys. I like these elephant ones, so maybe we'll do the elephants. We'll see if we can fit all 4 of them on there. I don't know. I was only able to fit 2 on the last one. But I'm going to put maybe some more fabric on here too. So he got tested and it was negative. So they said maybe it's just like a really nasty cold. There's like nasty cold viruses going around as well, and strep throat. And the school here was saying, yep, we've had like confirmed cases of influenza A and strep throat, and they'd had some COVID cases. So they were like, okay, well, if he's negative, then it's probably just nasty cold. Well, then time goes on. He's not getting better. He's got all these little scrappy doos here. Although, how am I going to sew all these together? That might be a little challenging. The reason I don't want to normally I'd sew right through, but I've already backed these tags and I don't want to make all those sewing marks there. So I might need to just put a piece of, maybe even just a piece of book page over here. Let me do that. Oh, here, wait, where I've got this. Maybe I can just put a piece of this in the background. Yeah, and then I'll just sew everything kind of through that. Okay. So he's negative, so we just assume it's, rotten cold, and then we all go about our lives. And the girls and I get sick too, but we're just assuming that it's the rotten cold. None of us lose our, Joy didn't really ever get sick. None of us ever lost our sense of smell or, the other things that they say are common. None of that happened to the girls or I, or even Ade. But then he just wasn't like getting better. And then he was not only not getting better, but he was kind of getting worse. And so finally I was like, we need to go to the doctor, back to the doctor, because clearly something's not right here. So we went back to the hospital, and that's when they were like, oh yeah, you just tested positive, and the negative result you had was probably a false negative. So we had been, the girls had been going to school, and we just assumed we all had colds. Well, apparently that was happening with a lot of people, because there was kind of a mini outbreak. Both my parents got it, and they're just now recovered. Praise God for that. Ade got it. My sister's family got hit, and my brother's family got hit. So we all had a taste of the COVID. And let's see if I can just kind of see. I don't want to overlap them too much because they're so dang cute. There's there's paw tusks, and here's maw tusks, and here's Sadie tusks. Tiny tusks. I mean, for cute, right? Maybe we can go like that on there. And maybe if I sew around those guys, that'll just kind of hold this whole piece together, right? What do you think? I like all the layering, even though you kind of lose some of it, but yeah, maybe maybe I'll just tuck that little piece in there too. Why not? Yeah, I think I'll do it this way. Okay, I'm gonna take this over. I'm gonna do some sewing on this and I will be right back. There we go. I'm gonna snip off a few of these. So I kind of sewed around on the background a little bit. I'm not worried about getting them all snipped all the way down. I just don't want them flopping around in their lovely little faces. So I sewed around on the background, right? Like to hold it together with a zigzag, and then I went around each of the cards. So you can kind of see that. It's kind of cool looking sewing. Look at that. But you're not even going to ever see it because it's going to be on the back. And that's going to glue down like that. Then it needs something right there. Anyway, so where was I? The Ronas. Maybe this needs New York. It fits kind of well there. So why not? Rather random labels for rather random little spots. But it needs cheesecloth behind it because, you know, cheesecloth. So the Rona, so we all have it. And the only person that got it super bad was my husband. And it wasn't even the COVID that got him. It was that he got pneumonia because he was still doing too much and not giving himself time to rest. You know, even though his wife, me, was totally nagging him to get rest. But of course he was not. So he was still working and stacking wood, even though he was sick. So he ended up in the hospital, which was a little scary for a minute there. But thank God for access to, you know, really good health care and stuff like that. And he got in there and they started pumping him full of all kinds of steroids and whatnot. And within a day or two, he was a totally different person. Well, a healthy person. It needs a little fabric tab, I think. So that was then a couple weeks of that. And because we live across the street from my parents, I like this one. Maybe we'll do this as a tab. Because we are the ones that live across the street from my parents, I was the one running around over there to make sure that they were doing okay and that they didn't need anything. And because I was the only one that basically wasn't quarantined or actively sick, I was also the one tasked with, you know, getting groceries and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I'm going to go sew this on really quick. There we go. Now to glue this whole thing down. So don't get me wrong. I was blessed to be able to be healthy enough to be the one to do the errand running and everything. But I think all of that together just kind of ran me down in a different way. Not so much the way, like, you know, not COVID or anything, because I don't think I had that anymore. But, you know, fibromyalgia reared its ugly head, and that can be its own source of frustration, because when you are, you know, doing a lot and running and not taking care of yourself as much, then you end up in kind of a flare-up. So that's what happened to me. So then, you guys, this sounds like a whole video of my woes, but let me just tell you through all of my woes here that I have also come to just realize how utterly blessed that we really truly are, in that we have access to doctors and healthcare so easily, and that we have access to the medications that we do, and that none of us ended up with any of the, you know, worst case scenario stuff. And we really, truly, truly, truly are blessed. And I am very blessed that this, you know, I never got sicker than I did. And fibro flare-ups are just a thing I deal with in life. And it's just kind of a part of my life. And you figure out how to deal. That said, I went ahead and tried to pull out all my garden. Which, back to my woes, which made me strain my right a muscle in my right side chest. I'm going to add that to my pile. Look at what we've done. Those are super cute, and I really like them. Aren't these little people so cute, these little animals? Look at those guys. And how I sewed around it, you can still read their little names. It's so cute. Okay. So I strained my muscle somehow, so that was stupid. And that was totally avoidable had I just maybe given it a break for a day, but I didn't. So kind of like, you know, I was just admonishing my husband for still doing things too much. Then I was out there doing the same thing. But I'm right and he's wrong, right? So oh, I also have these. These are Tracy's. Also, look at how, I know I say this every time I do a design team project for her, but I kind of, one of my favorite things is to like pull out as many pieces of stuff and junk as I can, because all of Tracy's things go so well together. And that's truly the case here too. Like all of these things. So this is 1, 2, 3 different kits right here, but look at how well they're all playing together. So yeah, you know, I'm a firm believer in Tracy's kits and how well they work together. I might tear some of that in half. I love these ones, these colorful ones from that Eclectica kit. So maybe if I tear it in half, then I can use it twice rather than just once, right? So I think I'm gonna just layer this up. I'm gonna layer it with some fabric again. Anyway, so that my right arm thing is still working on healing right now. That one I jacked up pretty good. Is that too bright for that? Yes. Let's see. What else do I have here? I've got some of this dark blue stuff. Is that too dark for this? Maybe not. We could put a little strip of that in, right? And then put some other stuff with it. Another thing that I want to try is Tracy did a video recently for a whole bunch of women did videos where it was kind of a collaboration where they were all doing fast flow stitching. And I recently found out that, well, I don't think I found out. I think I just remembered or realized that my new machine does free flow stitching, which is probably one of the reasons why I bought it in the first place, and then proceeded quickly to forget that that's what it did, and one of the reasons I bought it in the first place. It's a good start. I like when I put the tag down over this tag that's already backed, because this tag, then I can sew on that. I can't forget that I've got to fit this in there somehow as well. So her fast flow stitching though, her portion of it was this really cool, she was doing these circle things, and I was kind of intrigued. And so I haven't tried yet. I'm looking in my bag of scraps here again. I haven't even tried putting that foot on my machine yet. Ooh, maybe some of this red. But I've got this bag of scraps, and oh, I cannot rip this one. Yeah. So I was like, maybe I could try sewing the way that Tracy did. She did this really cool layered it up thing and then snipped it, and you know, raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. If not, you should check out her video, because it was, and you probably could find it pretty easily. It's like fast flow stitching collaboration. But I love the way she did it. And so I was thinking something like that might be cool for the front of this journal by the time if I ever get to that point with this. Now that I am starting to feel much better, so even though you just listened to me complain, I swear I didn't mean to come on here and be a complainer. That's not at all what I was trying to do, guys. So I'm sorry if I sound whiny. That's not what I was trying to do. I am getting texts. Oh, you want to know why? Because it's my birthday. I have, you guys, not only is it just like my friends and family who are fantastic and have been sending me lovely messages all day, but I have like subscribers and Facebook friends who are, you know, just like people that I've met through crafting and stuff that I've never met. Maybe we'll put that on the bottom here. I'll just have to stitch across it again. I kind of like that. I kind of like the bottom though without it too. I don't know. Let me see what I'm doing here. Ooh, I also have this really cool like yellow rickrack. Maybe a chunk of that would be cool on the bottom. Let's do that. Because then you can still see the bottom, right? That's a little too long though. Ooh, look it. I've never actually frayed the end. Let's just fray the end. So I've got all these wonderful, lovely people that have just been sending me messages all day and making me feel the love. And then what do? Come on here and whine. I'm not trying to whine. Reassure myself of that. That's not what I'm trying to be. Then this probably needs some cheesecloth behind it. Some stretchy out, super grungy. Every time I start trying to pull these things apart, I like pull too hard. That I end up with just a shred in my hand. So I gotta concentrate so I don't shred it. Yep, I just shredded the edge of that. Okay. Okay. Stay together. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm gonna sew this top tag and I'll be all right. But you know, before I say that, guys, I feel like this needs something else behind it. So let's see. Do I have a little strip of... Ooh, what's this? Some purple sari silk. This is a really pretty color. Yeah, let's do that. I bet that would look really cool. I'm about the layering today. I'm about the layering. And I kind of don't even mind if it gets crunchy like that, scrunchy. Purple and gold, that's my Minnesota Vikings colors. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'll be right back. There's that. That super long piece on there. I like it. I like it a lot. What do you think? Grungy tagginess. This purple's a little too long for my liking here, though. It needs to be trimmed down a little there. Also, if you're watching this video the week of October 11th, 2021, you can head over to my Etsy shop. I have a 20% off birthday week sale going on, and I just threw a couple new kits in there in case you hadn't seen that. I still feel like it needs something done. Maybe a rather random label. Yes, oh man. Pharmacists. Yeah, maybe a couple. Okay. These rather random labels, you guys, if you don't own them, these are like the best little filler things for just going in the best random little places. Random. I'm going to put this one down first and then that one. So yeah, I put in a new woodland kit called Woodland Tales. Woo! Throwing my glue around. And a sewing kit that I have had so many requests for. Sorry if you're one of the ones that's requested it, but I finally got to it. And so now I've got a sewing kit in there as well. That one, I'm kind of excited to make another woodland book. It's been forever since I made any sort of nature books, really. Okay, now let's glue this whole piece down. Yeah, I feel like I've been doing, I don't know, do you guys get like stuck on one kind of mode? Not that I'm stuck on it. I'm really digging this kind of grungy whimsical thing. I did the lap book recently. I did a couple of gentleman's journals. So if you saw my gentleman's journals recently, that was like something that I was doing as I was trying to just deal with all of the other stuff. And I didn't film any of the making of those because I just was not in the place to be filming the making of those, because I was working, you know, middle of the night, during the day, whenever I had time and felt good enough to kind of putz on things. So you wouldn't have been interested in listening to me during that time. But besides those, I've been kind of on this like more whimsical, grungy thing for a minute, and I have been digging it for sure. And I'm just kind of stuck in this world until I use up all my peculiar peeps on my desk right now, which I will in this journal. Then I'll move on and probably make a nature journal, although I have another kit sitting right over there that I'm kind of excited about too. I don't know. Usually I think I have a plan, and then once I get done with the journal, I think, okay, I'm going to start this next one for sure, and then I never do. This has room for maybe a whale tail. Why do I always feel like that says, like I'm saying it wrong when I say whale tail? Whale tail. I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Kind of like that blue one for this. So we'll do that. I usually at any given time have like multiple kits printed out on my desk, especially since Tracy sends out new kits. She's been quite prolific lately, and then I fall in love with every single one she sends out. And so then I print it out because I want to see it, like, you know, not just on my computer screen. I want to see it in person, live on paper. And then I go, oh my gosh, I fall in love with it. And then I'm like, I'm going to do this one next. So, but, you know, you can only do one next. And I always think I'm going to do all of them next. But hopefully, we're all on the mend. We're all doing better. My shoulder's just going to heal up. Now, of course, that I got done with, you know, COVID and the cold and all that junk, I've got my allergies back. Isn't that precious? So I've been sneezing and had that like soft palate throat itchy thing. If you know what I'm talking about, it's pretty awful. I feel like this one needs a little punch and a bulb pin, but I think I'm probably nearing an hour here. So let's just do it. And oh look, I got some little charms in here, some little Tim Holtz charms, and then let me just grab from the craziness that is my still unorganized drawer. Yeah, when I moved, which has been over a year now. When I moved, my little like Rubbermaid storage drawers got all jostled and everything. Of course, I never have like spent the time to reorganize them, and so they're still just a complete like mashup of paper clips and bulb pins and all the things. And I just see the world. Be true to you. I like that one. Let's do that one. And I've just never taken the time. Never taken the time. Do I want it on a bulb pin? Is that going to hang funny? Let's see. I don't mind it. I'm not mad at it. Let's see if I can get it to hang the other way. This is the thing with bulb pins. I feel like they're always kind of flopping around, you know? I definitely like the little charm thing. I suppose I could just tie it through with like a... Oh, let me see. Wait, just wait. Wait for it. In my little bag of crazy. Maybe we could put it on one of those. That might be a little too flappy around. Ooh. Okay. Let's check out these options. These are little... What are these called? Ball chain? I don't know if that's going to fit through there. Because, oh, there's like a little part of the metal that wasn't broken out yet. But that might be kind of cute. Just dangling. Come on. It kind of reminds me of Mardi Gras beads, not gonna lie. Is that too much of a dangle? I don't know. It's kind of fun to whip it around. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna say it is what it is. Maybe at some point I'll actually glue it down, which wouldn't look bad either. But I suppose if you wanted to remove it, I don't know, it's kind of fun to have it just dangling. So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm making the decision. Done. Decision made. But I'll leave this stuff out because I'm gonna continue working on tags. All right, guys, so thank you for joining me on my utterly random tour through making some fun tags and whining about my life, which I didn't mean to whine about my life. It's just what ended up happening. I was trying to fill you in on where I've been and what I've been going through, and that hopefully we're moving forward from all of that, and we'll finish up these tags and we'll do some decorating in that journal once I find it, because honestly I have still no idea where I put it. Although I will tell you that my studio is a little messy right now. It's quite messy, but I'm glad you can't see that. So I'm glad this is the only part of my studio you ever see, because then I can be like, there's this, you know, unspoken illusion that everything else must be somewhat neat and organized, which it is not. But you'll never know because you can't see it. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing better than I have been doing by far, like yards and eons and miles better than how we've been doing over here. Although, like I said, we are so blessed and we are all doing much better and we are recovering and recovered and back to life, you know. Joy's got volleyball games the last couple of the season. Lizzie, my almost 18-year-old, is working and doing school and writing for the newspaper, the school newspaper, which I'm going to put a link to the school newspaper below, because if you want to read a couple funny articles, my daughter has a great sarcastic sense of humor. So I'm going to put a link to the school newspaper below, because I think if you want to, you should check out Lizzie's. It's Lizzie Adigan. You should check out her column called Lizzie Mania. The one that's coming out It's not out quite yet. It should be out at the end of this week, I think. It's stinking hilarious. Anyway, that's a plug for my daughter. So I hope you guys are all doing well. Thanks for hanging out with me as we decorated some tags. I hope that you have a wonderful morning or afternoon or evening or middle of the night, whatever time it is when you're watching this, on whatever side of this fantastic globe of ours that you live on. And until I see you next time, which hopefully will be much sooner than it has been in recent history here, I hope that you guys have a wonderful day, that you stay safe, that you are really healthy and doing well, and that you're at peace and being able to be creative and do some wonderful creative things. And until I see you guys next time, take care and God bless you. Bye, everybody.